So in the very hot weather that we've been having, a very simple way of ensuring that your tree fern survives and enjoys it. This tree fern has been growing in a pot, in a huge pot, sitting outside, but it's got very pot bound, and as you can see, the fronds haven't been growing very well. The new fronds aren't that good, and the old fronds have been burnt up with the dry weather. So we've moved it and planted it out in the garden in a fairly shady position, and we need to perk it up a bit. And the simplest way to deal with a tree fern is to water the trunk. Now when you look at the trunk, actually it's not a tree trunk as such. This is a fibrous trunk made up of fibrous roots. And you can see that over the years the crown grows and the fibres start, they're rather matted, and then they turn into sort of fibrous roots. And such a tree fern like this, we could chop it off with a chainsaw there, stick it in the ground, and it would grow. We could chop it off wherever we liked and it would grow, because the trunk is actually composed of roots. So the way to water a tree fern is not to water into the ground, it's to water the trunk, because that's where this peculiar Tasmanian and New Zealand plant, that's where it would normally derive its moisture from, living in a understory under trees. So I'm just going to dribble the water into the crown and let it dribble down the trunk. It would be better if I had a hose pipe, but we're way up in the garden and a hose pipe isn't available. But maybe in the next week or two, give it a can of water every other day perhaps. You'll see that you can see the water is stopping dripping. It's very porous, and this root structure is lapping up the water. And what's going on the ground is going into the roots as well, which were in the pot. But something very simple, taking just a moment or two of your time, will greatly improve the performance of this tree fern. And the same is true of a tree fern of any height, with any size trunk. When it's very dry, give the trunk some moisture. Easy, but very beneficial.